Hello everybody, welcome back to our channel. Here is our second attempt at making a video because Brian
okay. Anyway,
Brian chose a video that made no fucking sense to do right now. And so yeah, we had to scrap that idea. And here we are doing a whole nother video. I think I'm gonna get him checked.
Just wanted to say thank you all for the ones who stick around and watch all of our content and like and subscribe, comment, engage, and especially the ones that jump over to our vlog channel. We're gonna try to get that to 10K by the end of the year, hopefully sooner. So
make it happen, guys. Come on.
So this is episode 290. Okay, so this video just came out recently, but it's where the red states are getting devastated by Trump's cuts and the tariffs. And I think specifically what they mean by the cuts is because in West Virginia, which is a very red place, there were like these massive floods and like no one was talking about it. So let's see.
These things always happen in those.
But usually there's coverage about it, especially by the right when it happens under a Democratic rule, because then they're like, look, they weren't even there.
Like, look,
the
come on,
FEMA's
Biden don't care about us over here in these red states. And it's like,
exactly.
You guys don't even care about yourselves. And I'm not speaking about all of you, but like a lot of you guys just
let's see.
Touch grass, literally.
Okay, I was out last week. I stored up a lot of thoughts about all sorts of things.
This lady.
I did watch the whole government funding debacle from afar. It feels to me like it's about time for a really honest conversation about Democratic leadership in Washington right now and what the heck is going on there. So we're definitely going to have that conversation tonight. I have my own thoughts I'm going to share with you too. There are also some good things happening out there, no doubt. I mean, we're going to talk about those too. Democrats like Tim Walz held town hall meetings in red districts over the weekend. That's great. Senator Ruben Gallego.
When was this?
Bernie's been doing that too. With
Him
AOC.
And AOC are in Vegas right now with Hassan Piker doing a whole tour.
Hassan's there?
I just saw on his Instagram today saying he's going to speak with them. I don't think he's like going on the tour with them, but I'm pretty sure that they're doing this whole fuck these oligarchs type.
Oligarchs, tour. Yeah.
Is oligarchs is not a word.
All right.
The town hall.
It is
in
now.
Phoenix, Arizona today. He's going to join me later tonight to talk about how that went. We're also going to talk about the hearing tonight over deportations that just wrapped up. Ryan Riley was in the courtroom. He's hustling over here.
Oh, yeah.
When was this on?
2 days ago.
Oh, okay.
What's crazy is there was a judge that... So apparently they illegally sent Venezuelan migrants. No, a lot. Yeah. That were not technically proven to be part of... the Venezuelan gang that they were talking about. So they literally just said, if you are Venezuelan and you have tattoos, then we're gonna put you on this plane.
Probably looked at their ancestry or 23andMe and just went to go find them. I swear, you guys, the shit they're doing here, they're deporting anyone.
A judge said, no, we're not allowing you to do this. We need to go through the due process and see if they're actually part of this gang. Right,
but the thing is that they're lucky that judge said that, because a lot of people have been deported and are overseas.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying they didn't listen. They still sent the planes out to El Salvador because they're sending.
So this is probably what I was.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Nayib Bukele and Trump have a deal because he has that for-profit prison over there where they do slave labor.
Yeah.
And so now they're sending a bunch of the people here who might not even be criminals. They just look. Some
of them have their green cards too.
That's what I'm saying. So they're doing these really weird authoritarian type of shit, and no, I don't know, not enough people are talking about it. It's just weird.
I feel like people are talking about it, but they're like, what the fuck do we do? The people
you have to just share it. I think that's
right. And then what? You wait for it. I mean, destruction can happen in a blink of an eye, but course correction takes so much longer. And
yeah, I know.
That's you're fucking with someone's life. That's their
time.
Yeah.
And there's more Columbia students and other people in how do you say it? Very well educated people who spoke out in favor of just supporting Palestine, and they're getting detained and other things like that too, which is really weird. It's really strange.
Here to the studio, and he's going to tell us about everything that happened in that room and what the judge had to say. But I wanted to start tonight with what I kind of think is one of the unifying principles of this administration. And that is basically their myopic view on owning the libs, as they call it. They love to own the libs. To the extent that they have one goal, owning the libs seems to be that goal. And by that, they mean doing anything they can to offend, humiliate, or destroy things that anyone left of Sean Hannity may possibly care about. I mean, Donald Trump visited the Kennedy Center for a board meeting today after seizing control of it and making himself the new chair. What a good use of time for a president. The Kennedy Center now, I think all of you probably know what it is, but it's been an arts institution here in Washington, D.C. for over 50 years. Lots of people perform there, all sorts. They're not political. But to Trump, it was too woke and needed to be straightened out. So he has to own the libs. Trump is basically destroyed.
He's using that as a... I watched this little, like, it was a 30-minute video on a historian talking about dictatorships, and he's doing everything in the playbook by manipulating people off of these little terms or little, like, sayings that get them riled up, and then there's a whole other thing behind that.
Right, like it's a blanket term to excuse.
But then a bunch of other shit is going on behind
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's woke. If I don't like it, it's too woke.
Center. People are refusing to perform there anymore. And he basically said so himself today.
We'll make it great again, but it is so much like what I'm witnessing in other places. We have open borders. We have men playing in women's sports. It's all the same thing. It's all the same mentality and thinking.
I mean, it's all...
These are the biggest fish to fry, guys.
It's all the same mentality and thinking. Kennedy Center, the culture wars, actual policy of any sort. It's all the same thinking to Trump. And it's exactly the same thinking when it comes to the way he and Elon Musk are gutting the federal government.
And that
I mean, take NOAA, which is the agency responsible for things like forecasting our weather and tracking climate trends and responding to extreme weather events. Most people accurately see it as an apolitical tool for knowing what the weather is going to be outside, which, hey, we all rely on. A place where a bunch of science nerds prepare for natural disasters. That's what happens in that building. But Project 2025 labeled it as, quote, one of the main drivers of the climate change alarm industry. Think about how absurd that statement is. This is an agency made up...
The thing is, like, I know within all these agencies there is misuse of money, or there could be better use of money. I don't think anyone is denying that. I think, though, to completely eliminate them, as a whole, that's where it can become a problem, because I do think there is a need for these specific agencies because their purpose is something good.
I feel like can you go in there? Wrong people.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, can you go in there and do it without completely gutting things? Yeah, I think so. But I think this is just like I think they went all the way hard at first to test their power and to see how people respond. And if people care.
I just think he doesn't understand to the extent that how valuable these companies are. So he just is like, man, we don't need you. Fuck you. Or we'll just cut your funding in half.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't personally know what they do.
Yeah.
Him or Elon. Because a lot of the companies that were investigating him all of a sudden got.
Yeah, I know. You could look that up. It's pretty insane.
We're literally measuring and predicting weather patterns, some of which are caused by, yes, the climate crisis.
Right, but like these are people who don't believe climate change is an issue.
They're destroying that agency. That's the goal. That's front and center for the Trump team. That's what they're trying to do. Now, over the past few weeks, the Trump administration has slashed hundreds of NOAA staff, including people responsible for producing critical weather forecasts and maintaining radar systems. And they're not done. The agency is tasked with cutting an additional 1,000 jobs, which means 10% of its workforce. See, to Donald Trump and his buddy Elon Musk, NOAA is just another woke agency that stirs up climate hysteria. And so it's one of the agencies that has found itself in their crosshairs. But here's the thing. When devastating tornadoes swept across the country this week, it actually wasn't coastal Democrats in their path at all. It was states like Mississippi and Arkansas and Alabama and Missouri, states that would definitely not self-identify as woke in any way, and states that would definitely benefit from a fully operational and fully staffed and fully funded NOAA. What about FEMA, which provides essential tools for cleaning up and rebuilding after devastating storms, like the ones we also saw last week and this week? Trump and Elon Musk claim the agency is a political tool wielded by Democrats during disasters. I don't even know what they
Didn't
mean
he
by that
defund
exactly.
FEMA?
So
Yeah, FEMA
guess what
cuts,
they've
yeah.
done? They've cut jobs there too. And Trump has even mused about shutting it down altogether. That's how they're owning the libs, I guess, right? I mean,
You showed
that's their
us,
approach.
guys.
But guess which states get the most recovery funding from
Red
FEMA
states.
and the
Red
Department of
states.
Housing and Urban Development? Well, states like Louisiana.
Yeah, this is the big thing that I think people don't realize is that the biggest users of welfare are white people, but they are in the red states. Like all these government things that they talk so much shit about, they are used by his voters, but they
Yeah.
don't realize the contradiction there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Florida and Texas, not exactly target Democratic states, those ones typically. Notice the theme here? See, the things they've already done and things they're planning to do actually hurt red states more than blue states. They're trying to own the libs, but they're actually hurting Trump voters. The people they are hurting the most are in the very states that voted to put Trump in the White House. And we're seeing this everywhere, all the time. It's happening every day. They're hurting red states by working to repeal the Inflation Reduction Act, even though 80% of the investments are in Republican districts. They'll continue to hurt people who voted for them if they go after Social Security, which 1 in 5 Americans across every single state rely on. And they'll hurt lots of proud MAGA members if they go after Medicaid.
Yeah.
In one Appalachian county in Kentucky, almost 90% of the residents in Harlan County, that's what I'm talking about, voted for Trump, and almost half of them received Medicaid.
Damn.
One woman relying on a Medicaid-funded treatment program for addiction told the Washington Post, if it were to go away today, I would be homeless tomorrow.
I feel like even in his first term, he threatened cutting.
He did. He tried,
So-
but they didn't let it pass because remember they didn't have the House and the Senate to do everything like they're
I
doing
understand. So why the fuck would you even play with
Because
that
people don't look
idea?
into anything, babe.
Babe, that I remember that being a huge.
Yeah,
Talking
but people
point.
forget. People forget everything after like fucking nowadays. It's like after 30 days you forget what happened. That's how we're able to repeat this stupid fucking thing so many times.
I would lose everything, all my counseling, all my treatment. If Trump takes the things that they're saying, it's going to be devastation for Eastern Kentucky for sure. And you don't have to just to take her word, or my word for that matter, for it. Here's Steve Bannon.
A lot of MAGAs on Medicaid. I'm telling you, if you don't think so, you are dead wrong. Medicaid's going to be a complicated one. Just can't take a Medex to it, although I would love to.
I mean, the music in the background there is really quite something. But the point is, that guy is not exactly known for his empathy. He's not
Yeah, I was gonna say Steve Bannon is like very, very conservative, and he's a huge, what do you call the head, the speaking head or talking head, whatever. Yeah, for that type of thing.
really a super empathetic guy. But he understands the political reality of Medicaid and other issues too. Trump is also hurting red states with his beloved tariffs. He loves those tariffs. According to New York Times analysis, nearly 8 million Americans work in industries targeted by tariffs, and the majority are Trump voters. The jobs that could be hit by retaliation are especially concentrated in pockets of the upper Midwest, South, and Southeast, including many rural parts of the county that are responsible for producing agricultural goods. And again, don't take my word for it or their word for it. Here's Mike Pence.
The truth is, when it comes to tariffs, the importer here in the United States pays
My guy looks so high. He looks so
I'd be
high.
too.
the tariff. The foreign country doesn't pay the tariff. More
Why don't you tell your friend
Constituents,
that?
your
Yeah.
constituents.
often than not, passes along the increased costs on that product to the consumer. Too often I hear the administration talking about broad-based
The
unilateral
administration.
tariffs that I think will ultimately work against American jobs, American families, and American business.
There you heard it from noted liberal crusader, as he's well known, Mike Pence. See, what's becoming increasingly clear is that in this broad effort to own the libs, Donald Trump is actually owning his own voters. And you wonder why Republicans don't want to hold town meetings out there.
Yeah, you'd also. It's kind of ridiculous though that there's gonna be a lot of them that are. I hate to sound so mean. There's gonna be a lot of them that are too dumb to realize what he's doing is hurting them because
I think at this point,
he's gonna blame it on, well, this is what was put in place or this is what happened.
One thing I've learned living here, regardless of how much information you're fed, people's experience, they will always blame whoever's in office at that moment. So if any of their resources get cut off, it doesn't matter if it was an implication from Biden. They're gonna look at it being a Trump thing.
Maybe.
Regardless.
Maybe.
You know?
Unless he can fucking.
You could blame him all you want, but if you can't afford your fucking medicine and your
Become
groceries or
stuff,
yeah, I could promise you your ego will be put to the fucking back burner.
Yeah, I get
And
it.
you will start to see, and unfortunately, the people who, you know, a lot of the people who are going to suffer the most, it's for them to fucking learn the lesson.
Yeah.
I just feel bad for people who are in those little like blue pockets in those states that have to kind of suffer through that.
When asked how fascism starts, Bertrand Russell once said, "First they fascinate the fools, then they muzzle the intelligent." It's true.
Well, that's why he wants
we're
to take
moving
away,
to the muzzling the intelligence.
That's why he wants to take away the Department of Education,
Well,
which is now getting challenged as of today.
It's so strange to me though, how they like banned AP from, or they like, I don't know if they did or they wanted to ban AP from the White House.
What's AP?
Associated Press.
Oh.
They were like they're like the most neutral press that we have.
Yeah,
It's
they're
like
like, come on,
thing.
TikTokers.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing. Come up here. You're qualified. Come speak on our behalf, you little red pill.
Let us know your opinions of what everything is going on. I know there's going to be other stuff going on in this moment.
We are way late.
Yeah, we are. We're behind because we're batch filming, like we've already said, but because we're on a trip right now.
Did you guys know we were on a trip and we're batch filming?
I know. Okay, so leave your opinions in the comments, but make sure to like and subscribe. And we will see you
watching.
on the next one.